Hi to all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss a very important moment. How to look fresh and rested and bright. Let's say to have bright complexion, because you know, we're always bright. After the party. Or let's say when you had a very bad night's sleep, or you had a lack of sleep in general, and especially this period of time when there are holidays, there are certain, I don't know, little parties. I don't know if we can still go, maybe in some places we can. And in general, family gatherings, just, you know, it's a festive, there are festive days, and you do get less sleep than normal. So how to look fresh in the morning, especially, just to have a bright complexion and look a little bit more rested than like you would. I have several products, I mean a lot of products here that help me to brighten up my complexion, and I just have little tricks that I've figured out for myself, but that actually can work also for you as well. Obviously, depending on our complexion, there are certain products that will work better, or colors. So I'm gonna try to talk in general what brightens up the skin, and then you can just see whether this color suits you. And I will talk mainly about the formulas that is better to use so your skin looks better. When we don't have enough sleep, or let's say after a party and we have to get up in the morning and we look really jaded, and there is another event or brunch or breakfast, and we want to spruce up a little bit, first thing first is the skincare, because without the skincare, I mean, there's no makeup that will look good. For me, a must-have is a depuffing situation, because you always feel a bit more puffy, especially if you have a late dinner, and if you have, like, let's say something more salty, your face will look a little bit maybe swollen, or like you will need some depuffing thing. So for me, is the roller. This face roller, it's from the Body Shop. I use it mainly for, okay, I use it for the face, but if I need like especially eye depuffing, I will just hold like this for a while. What's good about this, it's always cold. This metal rollers, they're always cold, so you don't have to keep it in the refrigerator. Another thing is the eye cream, and I always keep it in the refrigerator. This is one of my favorite, and I always have it. This is my second or third time buying. This is by Llierac and Hydragenist eye gel. It's smoothing, it has anti-aging qualities, it has a hyaluronic acid, and it has the most important thing, it has this metallic applicator. And obviously when I put the cream, I'll just go around my eye area, and it's just feels fantastic. I do it like all over my eye. I do it every morning, even if I have a good sleep. Now, this one of those things, well, no, this is the mask, okay? A good boosting, refreshing, plumping face mask really does the work. My favorite, and I go for it every time, is by Llierac as well, from the same line actually, because this works. It has a collagen here, and it's just, actually it boosts your collagen, and it's called Moisturizing Rescue Mask, Oxygenating Replumping. So all you need to know. Now obviously you can choose any mask that work for you, but for me this is like number one. Actually, I've finished it today. Actually, it's a very authentic video because I had a very bad sleep last night. I woke up the middle of the night and couldn't fall asleep until I had to get up in the morning, and I had to get up 5:30. So yeah, So I don't really look rested, and yeah, I had to use this mask, and I tried to do the makeup that I would do. This is actually the makeup that I would do when I want to look a little bit brighter, fresher. I don't know if I managed, but after the mask, I would go for a base, like a primer that has a brightening effect. This is by Terry's. This is my favorite. It always works. This is this hydrating, radiating elixir. It's kind of a complexion booster. I have the light shade. They also have a golden, more peachy, depending on your complexion. You can choose, but for the light skin, it's perfect. This one is fantastic. I always go for this. If you want to like warm up your complexion instantly, but without heavy foundation, because when you are tired or after party, your skin can be a bit kind of reactive and maybe a little bit pink, maybe inflamed a bit. So heavy complexions foundations is a no-go. Choose something brightening, something with maybe skincare. If you want to warm up your complexion and look, if you're pale and you want to look more rested, you know, like normally when you warm up your complexion a little bit with a bronzer or some bronzing products, you will look more, well, it depends. If you have a very heavy bronzer, it actually can exaggerate your imperfections and actually tiredness of your face. There is a very thin line, but I normally go for this Chanel bronzer. It's very light. It's universal shade basically, especially for the light skin. I think they have different shades now, but this one is like universal shade. It's called Bronze Universal. I normally, you see, it's very light, and you can actually apply all over your face, not like a bronzer, but all over your face as of a warming up complexion base. And then you can just go over the powder or whatever you feel like you need. But to me, this would be either my light bronzing effect, or I can use this, or I'll go for something like this. This is my favorite, actually. I'm almost done. This is a Miracle Second Skin Hydrating Foundation. It's kind of by Max Factor. It's kind of like a skincare foundation hybrid. It's like, it has actually coconut milk and probiotics complex and SPF 20. It's fantastic. It's actually my daily kind of half moisturizer, half SPF and foundation. I have it right now on my face. It's perfect. It also have probiotics, so if your skin is a bit sensitive and inflamed, probiotics will calm it down, and it has coconut milk for hydrating effect. So it's like, I go for some kind of a skincare foundation product that will bring more benefit to your skin. I wouldn't go for any heavy foundation or something that can be irritating to the skin. As of a bronzer or warming up product, I would probably go for the Beige powder. That would be my bronzer. Most of the days this is my kind of a bronzer, because it's in powder, it's kind of on the darker side powder. I wouldn't use it as a powder. Depending, in summer this is my face powder, like it just brightens, like warms up my whole complexion. But in winter it would be my bronzer, and I used it today just on top of this. This is hydrating, but it kind of has a little bit of a satiny mattifying finish, even though your skin looks dewy, but to the touch it's not sticky. This is actually one of the most fantastic products, and not a lot of people talk about it, and I don't know why, because this is just really a miracle, as it said, miracle second skin. Now choose something like this, light textured. If it's a bronzer, choose on the lighter side. Don't go heavy-handed on a bronzer. It's tempting. You feel like if you put a lot of bronzer right away, you look awake, but it actually can drain and a little bit like make your face more heavy looking. We need something light, something that brings up the light in our skin, which actually like this is really like this brightening base is very important, or some highlight. For this very reason, I will definitely finish my makeup. We're not going to the finishing part, but I just want to mention with this something like this Meteorite Illuminating powder is fantastic. I would finish my makeup with this, will bring up the light. It's kind of a light reflecting product, so it works. It looks like this. I have it right now on my face. It's better to look on a pale side but bright than too bronzed or dark, or having like a darker complexion. When you are tired, that's not a good look. It's better to look more pale but like light, with a light reflecting products on your skin, than bronzed and tired. Because, and especially your eyes, if you have a lot of bronzer and your skin is pretty like bronzed, right away your under eye bags or circles will be accentuated. So, okay, covering up the under eye area is very, very important. And most of the time you have to go for something that is on a peachy side, because peach or pink will delete the darkness better. I love this Under Eye by It Cosmetics. Well, I like it because, first of all, it's moisturizing. It's very thick, but it's moisturizing. It's actually anti-aging. I don't anti-aging yet, but you know what I mean. It's kind of has this, I think it has hyaluronic acid here, and it's waterproof. You need very little amount because it's so thick, but you can really get deep into your dark area and it sets there. Like, it doesn't budge. This is what I like about it. It's brightening. But I use two products. I also like this Maybelline because it's in a lighter texture, and I would go a little bit like all over my eye with this because it's very light textured, and will like smudge it with a beauty blender, and it's just kind of like, yeah, it's just everything is bright right away. So I would use this on a wider perimeter of my eyes, like really like this everywhere. Also I will use this to hide if you have redness around your nose. This is really good because it has like a pasty formula, and these are my favorites. Now another thing for complexion, the powders as well. Like I mentioned, this light reflecting, I wouldn't go for the matte unless you really have an oily skin. But when you have less sleep or after party, means maybe you had some drinks, your skin would be a little bit on dehydrated side, so your skin will be a bit drier. So don't go for a matte powder. It's better to go for some kind of like this MAC. This is a mineral powder. It's still powder. It still can set your makeup in under area, but in a kind of a light reflecting way. It's really perfect. I use it actually all the time, depending, but most of the time. Now everybody knows this product. I'm pretty much like almost like finishing it. I also like it to have it as a finishing powder. It's also kind of brightening. If you don't really have to have very brightening effect, for instance this one, if I have oily skin, maybe you go for something milder like this, but this can serve as a highlight. By the way, I wouldn't use a lot of highlight because if your skin dehydrated or have a little bit of a texture, which can happen if you don't have enough sleep, it can have like your pores can be more accentuated. Don't go on a heavy highlighter. Go for a powdery light highlighter, which this is perfect. It's like a highlighter effect thing. Or, oh, it's another powder I really like. This is by Bobbi Brown, and it's Illuminating Compact Powder. This one actually is one of my favorite products. It's Nude Finish Illuminating Powder. I have it in Porcelain. Very light. It has like, as you see, some shimmer here. If you blend it all and put it all over your face, it will look very, it will have some shimmer particles and it will light reflect. Beautiful. It's like something in between these two. This is very mild. This is pretty brightening. This one is something in between. I normally use it like every day for a brightening effect. Sometimes I use it only on this area. What I like about this, these two things, this or three even, they're more matte, so you actually can use it for your under eye area and the rest like all over your face. It's a very handy thing. I normally carry it around in the purse because I can fix my makeup with this matte. They're kind of like half matte, half glittery. Actually, I think that they're pretty matte. And then I can also use this. If I use only this, it will be like highlight. So it's like really good product. Now, and another very important product is the blush. I actually think it's one of the most important for the face, to brighten up and bring up some color, is the blush, and the right blush can do magic. Now, depending on your skin tone, of course, let's say if I have to talk about my blushes that completely transforms my face from sallow and dark and like pale to bright and kind of that I'm fresher than I am, is the color like very pale pink. Most of the time, especially in winter, you have to consider also the season, because in winter the sun goes down and in general the weather is more gray, so our face and the sun goes down pretty fast. So our face, like if we have warm colors on our face can look a little bit dull and earthy and kind of dark, even in the sense of not like like dark as of a face complexion, as of a, I don't know, like more tired in general. It's not flattering at all. In winter, if you have light skin, especially on the lighter side, let's say, you need to go for a cool toned makeup because it brightens up the complexion and it kind of reflects more light. So in general, in winter I would go for more cool toned makeup, eyeshadows, depending, of course. In the morning, especially if I live in Barcelona, so we have quite bright weather, I can get away with the warm makeup in the day as well. But if I lived in Riga, in Latvia, where I'm originally from, I remember sometimes it's like the sun never comes up, as if it's just gray and dark. So in this case, I would only use everything that is more cool toned, pink on the cool side, eyeshadows also more bright, like that has pink or purple undertone rather than sandy or brown. So okay, The blush that I choose most of the time these days would be, if it go, I know I talk about the powder blushes because in my opinion, when you're tired or you're after party, it's better to go for powdery, light reflecting product rather than for a cream, because cream, most of the time, if your complexion is not that good, and most of the time when you don't get enough sleep, your complexion can suffer or be like imperfection can show more. It's better to go for something that's smoothing rather than accentuating, and cream products can accentuate imperfection, so that's something to think of. Now, I love these two blushes. One is by Revlon. It's a little bit more bright. It's in color Tickled Pink. And right now that I have on my cheeks, it's a little bit paler, and it goes for like, for a very pale complexion will be perfect. It looks like this. It's by L'Oreal Le Blush. This, it's in Rose Pastel. If they almost look identical, but I know that this is a little bit brighter and this is a bit paler. Even on the skin, it can look, oh, it broke. Here it is. I know, it's okay. It can look going on a more warm side sometimes, especially if you're putting on top of the bronzer. This I like, especially on the apple of the cheeks, like really here. It just kind of, it will reflect your under eye area, and it will just boost up and it will make it brighter. So this one I would put almost here, and this one I can put a little bit here. I kind of mix this two. If you like more warm, on the warmer side, blush, but also like this one for, but you don't want like really orangey, but something like peachy pink. This is perfect. This is by MAC, and the mineral blush in Gentle. This is one of my favorite color, actually. I love it for summer, for winter, always. And it has little sparkle here, very, very smooth, not chunky at all. It will look perfect. I don't know if you could see, I swatched a little bit. It smoothes out because it's mineralized. It has a smoothing effect. Actually, I don't know if they have a very light, I think maybe you have something like this. I'm considering to get the same formula in a very pale pink. Another product, another blush that will be fantastic for this occasion, brighten up occasion, is, I don't have it right now and I want to get it and I keep on forgetting, is by Dior. Gonna show it here. The Backstage blush in pink. This blush, actually it's like number one. If I have to choose one blush, like a pale pink brightening cool tone blush, I would go for Backstage Dior. But okay, because I also have a little shimmer. But I love this too as well. And right now I have only this in my cheek and I'm really liking it. And I top it off with this powder. So it has this, I don't know if it reflects the light, but I'm loving it. How it looks like, not on, maybe on camera, but in real life. Now, let's talk about eyeshadows. Now, if you can get away without putting any makeup, any eye makeup, it's even better, you know, honestly. When you are very tired, if you can, if you have like, you make your face, brows, you can get away without, you even look fresher. But if you think like you need, less is more, definitely in this case. Okay, number one is Waterline, and Waterline like to brighten up your waterline will make such difference. I normally go for a purple lilac tinted pencil. This is by NYX in lavender blush. So it kind of has a lavender tint. I think it's more brightening and it's more natural than white or beige. Depending on your, of course, complexion, but I think this is like the best for the waterline. Avoid any eyeliner, especially black. If you really have to, it should be soft brown. Even if you are like dark hair, still go for a softer effect, or like light green. My preference goes to like I prefer the as well like something lilac. Right now my eyeshadows like on a kind of a purple mauve hint. I a little bit went between my eyelashes with this by Makeup Forever, the color artist pen. What is the color? The color is Worldly Mauve, kind of a pale purple pencil. And this is what I use right now on my eyelids, and it's perfect. I smudged it. It gave depth to my eyes, but it's not black. It's not that harsh. And another thing that is very important is to cover your eyelids, because they can be a little bit swollen or red. It's very important to actually cover it a little bit with this under eye cover concealer, like this, a little bit, not too much. And on top, choose some very pale matte eyeshadows. My favorite, I have these two palettes from Christian Dior. Today I used this one. I covered my whole eyelid with this. It's actually the palette in Dream. Every eyeshadow palette, like especially mattes one, I like mattes for winter a lot. They have this really perfect light matte eyeshadow. This one has as well like a little bit cool toned whitish purple kind of shade, and I really went heavily on my eyelid and I covered everything, so it kind of covered all the lines or little imperfections. And then on top I put a little bit of shimmer and glitter, like shimmer. I'll show you what I put, because shimmer also will reflect the light. So basically on a very light base you put a little bit shimmer that kind of corresponds to the shadow of this pale shadow. Like for instance, this has a purple shade, and I used this by Revlon. It's kind of a creamy, but it's like not too creamy. It's in color 740, I don't know the color. Is this creamy eyeshadow. It's kind of a silvery mauve lilac. It's creamy, but it's almost velvety. I'm loving this color a lot. I have it right now on my eyelids, and a little bit of this gray, just to deepen up a little bit the sides of the eye, and that's that. Depending on your skin tone, that's why I like this, how you call them? 5 eyeshadows anyway. For instance, this one in Exalt, it has 3 different toned matte eyeshadows, very pale. They're perfect. You can choose any that suits your complexion, and actually you can create a look, a brightening look, using only these 3 eyeshadows. They're perfect. So depending on your eye color, you see they're all different shades. You just use it on your eyelids and it will brighten up your face right away. Now, And another one that I also like very much is, it's like even a brighter topper, like more, not exactly more shimmery, yeah, a little bit more shimmery. This is from the Max Factor Access Shimmer. It's really beautiful, and especially this color, you know that the color that a little bit like on a pistachio greenish sort of, it's actually very brightening. It's even more brightening than, let's say, some pale pink, which is also has a very brightening quality, like it really reflects the light. I love this a lot. This is in color some pearl, but it's kind of like a greenish pistachio sort of on the eyelids, depending on your skin, of course, color, like especially on the eyelids, it can look one way or the other, especially on top of which eyeshadows you're gonna put it on. It can change the color. It's just really pretty. I put a little bit. Of course, I can intensify. Like if you're interested, the texture, like for me, this one is like perfection. I don't know if you could see. Here it is. It's one of my favorite. If I have very little time, I'll just open it, I'll just dab on my eyelids, and that's it, and the makeup is right away has in a different dimensions. Now another eyeshadow palette that I really like, because it's very handy in this respect, this by Natasha Denona, the small palette. What I like about this, it has perfect, actually it has this perfect universal matte eyeshadow that's so good. It's not too peachy, it's not too pink, it's not purple, it's like really neutral in a way, and it will suit every skin tone, this one. And yeah, and then I mean you can create the whole look, but if we're talking about this very minimal brightening effect makeup, I would use this, and I would put a little bit of this shimmer. It's actually, here it looks very bright, but in reality it's very mild. It's like this brickish kind of peach bronze shimmer. Where would I put here? As you can see, it's not very punchy, it's pretty mild. It's very pretty. I use a lot of this, like, and this middle one is so pretty, very silver, very punchy. Now, that's it for the eyeshadows. Okay, the eyes, I would always use the eyelash curler to kind of open the eyes, the look. I mean, eye color, we know how it looks. And I would use, I would prime, I would use the eyelash primer. Why? Somehow I feel like it makes a difference. It will make your eyelashes thicker and longer, which will kind of make your eyelashes, like make your eyes look bigger, because we're putting minimum makeup and we don't want to really put a heavy makeup on your eyes because they're tired. Eyelashes will kind of compensate the lack of makeup, and of course primer is what we need, unless you are like lucky and you have very thick and long eyelashes by nature. What else I do? I mean, let's say that our eyelashes, especially if you have quite dark eyelashes, or if you have a pale skin and dark eyelashes, for instance, my eyelashes quite the dark side, they're not blonde, they can actually kind of cast a shadow under your eye. And if that's why I almost never really put a mascara on my lower eyelash, maybe on the sides, but not all over, because it will kind of accentuate my dark circles if I have, or if I slept very badly, like it will actually make it worse for me. It will accentuate my dark circles, even the bags under my eyes if I had one. Now, what I do with the primer, it works for me. I figure out on my own. I've never seen anyone doing it, but I would put a primer which is kind of white, right? I would put it on my lower eyelash and I will leave it like this. It will basically kind of delete the color from my eye area, under eye area, but it will also brighten it up because it's basically white. For me it works. Of course, I don't know, if you have a darker complexion, it might not look very natural or brightening. Maybe it will look weird, like you could see that it's like something white. But on my face, because my skin is very white and pale, and also because I put very light eyeshadows under my eyes, I actually have a little bit of that matte, almost non-color, and I added a little bit of this gray, as I showed you. And so yeah, it's almost like you can't see. So yeah, this is my trick. I put eyelash primer under my eyes to brighten up the under eye area, and I'll leave it at that. I don't put any mascara, like, no. Now, the lips, not missing on anything. The lips, okay, the lips depends, but what I feel like works the best on tired face is something that it plumps your lips and makes it also like light reflecting. Sometimes bright lip works as well because it kind of distracts the attention from the tiredness of your eyes, or like your, like here, like really juicy, I don't know, bright lips. To me, on my face, I prefer to have maybe some really nice gloss, maybe with some shimmering effect, plumping. It will look my face more, to me, it will look more bright and, you know, better. I would use some deeper tone lipstick. For me, is the best one is this one in Asia by Rimmel. I really like this tone. It really suits my lip tone, like mauvey kind of pink, but more bright, like berry. And I will smudge it. Right now I have it on my lips. I don't know, because I talked so much, maybe it already disappeared. Let's put more. So, and for me, the most important thing, that your lips look plump, and that what makes it better, like your face looks like fresher. Now, and that this lipstick makes as if it's my lips, but like more plumper and looking better. And I will top it off with depending, if I want more lighter version, I would use this gloss by Maybelline in what is the shade Ice. It's very cool toned gloss, transparent on the cool side, almost like whitish pearly. It will make, like, I had it a little bit on top of this lipstick. If I want something more brighter, I really love this by Clinique. It's like really bright berry. Actually, it also goes very well with this lipstick, but it will be more brighter. Really liking it. It's like plumping. Let's try it on as well, on top of, let's see how it looks like. It's in color, I'll tell you. It will give such, it's very glossy. I will probably smudge it. Depends for which look you go for. Actually, it just brightens up your complexion on the spot. It goes, this color, I personally think goes for any skin complexion, like undertone, any. Now, the rest, I would say choose the colors that will like also brighten up your complexion, and like metallic accessories, something like bright silver sort of, or something like silver goldish, reflects the light. Also pearls, pearly, any earrings, or maybe some satin hairband will brighten up. Everything that is like light and light reflecting around your face will brighten up your complexion, your face. So, and because I speak with my hands and my hands always all over my face, I will pay attention to the jewelry on my hands, and I would very often put this ring by Swarovski. It's like just this crystal that actually reflects the light all over my face. When I talk, it just kind of makes everything much lighter around my face. This is how I figured out, because I realized that when I talk, I have my hands next to my face very often, and that's just also kind of light reflecting. So this little tricks, and of course the sand. I would say never go for anything that is very musky, deep, because that's not something that associates with the freshness and lightness, and we need something invigorating and boosting and light. Okay, I'll just show my favorite perfume I go for when I need some boosting up and freshness, and yet I want to look a little bit sophisticated. That would be this Issey Miyake L'Odyssée Pure. I really love this perfume exactly for this reason. It's as fresh as it's a little bit, has this little punch. I think it has jasmine here, some citrus notes. Unfortunately, I'm going to post here the notes of this perfume. I don't remember exactly what it has. I just want to, like, I'm gonna tell you what I feel, and I'm not a perfumer. Something floral, a little bit zesty. This is it. This is my wrap up. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful. Happy holidays, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.